Hello everyone, I am Lewis, you are watching Lost in Travel. I am joined by my uncle Graham and my sister Lauren for the next 4 nights exploring Copenhagen, Denmark. Previously on Lost in Travel. Last time you saw me, I was exploring some of the most incredible destinations, landmarks and hidden gems Europe has to offer. Across 2 unforgettable months of Interrail, I created lifelong memories while adding 12 new countries to my ever-growing travel checklist. After returning home, I celebrated another milestone by graduating from university, closing one chapter and opening another. But the travel bug bit me yet again. I'm now back in Europe, ready to explore a new destination with exciting sights and experiences waiting around every corner. Welcome to the capital of Denmark, everyone. Here's how to spend 5 perfect days in charming Copenhagen.
Morning birds, honeycomb. Glad you left me with all your poems. Sorry now. Doesn't work. Flowers blooming.
So we have just finished the first activity here in the city, and that was just a lovely canal tour around Copenhagen, getting our bearings and just getting to see some of the best landmarks from the water. Look at all the fish. What is it here? So one of the top things to do here is definitely to come and see Rosenborg Castle. And right in the centre, which is pretty epic. The most epic thing about this castle is that it holds the crown jewels, so it's got so much historical significance to the city. But I think my personal favourite part to this whole castle is the gardens, which offers you an amazing view of the exterior design of this castle, and it's just huge. It just goes on for a mile. So much greenery in your face. What can you not love about that?
Time grows strange like an apple tree. Still I toil and I pine, unknown and sung like a melody.
So as I walk through Rosenborg Gardens and just take in the sights of the city, I want to mention one thing to you all, and the way that we're going to be travelling around Copenhagen for the next couple of days, and that is we got the 4-day Copenhagen City Pass, and I love a city pass. I just think they're really good for their buck. Like, you come and travel around and you get to go, well, well, I guess it depends on where you're going, but I think in Copenhagen, which is a pretty expensive city anyways, when you look at all the attractions that you're thinking of seeing, getting the pass and then seeing that the attractions that you want to see are included on that, it's definitely worthwhile. I think the total that we're saving is about £96 on all the attractions that I'm planning to see for the next 4 days, all including the pass, as well as transport across the entire island of Zealand, which I didn't know until recently that Copenhagen is on the island of Zealand, Old Zealand as a matter of fact. But yeah, we just got our pass, get on all the transport, get into all these lovely attractions, go up and see some sights. It's going to be an epic few days.
Every golden sunrise breaking through the leaves, songbirds in the morning, an ancient melody. These are the gifts we're given that make life worth living.
So good morning all, it is now a brand new day, our first full day here in Copenhagen, and we're beginning things off right here at the Botanical Gardens. Let's go inside.
There's nothing like the sound of moving water. There's nothing like the waves across your feet. The whistle of a sycamore in autumn. It's probably gonna outlive you and me. Is that the way? Is that the way? Is that the way you start to feel when you get older? Is that the way? Is that the way? Is that the way you start to feel when you ain't young anymore?
So we're now back having a stroll around Nyhavn Harbour, or Nyhavn Harbour is what it's called in Danish, I believe. And this is one of the most notable streets here in Copenhagen. It's incredible, it's super busy but super lively, and it feels like I've entered like a Lego world here in Copenhagen. One of my favourite things about Copenhagen so far is just how vibrant the whole city is. No wonder the Danish people are some of the happiest people in the world, because how can you not be with all these colours popping right out in front of you? And that's what I'm talking about, something I've just learned about just recently, but it seems like it's a big deal here in Denmark, and that is Hygge. I was calling it Hygge or whatever, and that is apparently the Danish way of life. It is apparently like a warm aesthetic. We try to get a nice atmosphere, cozy, relaxed vibe to the place. So like fairy lights, like just things that bring I don't know, like a pleasant atmosphere to your life. So apparently that's the Danish way of living, is to try to implement that to everything. So you go into cafes, you get nice warm cozy feeling inside. That is the way Denmark try to convey themselves, and I love it. What a feeling. There's not an actual English translation to the word Hygge, but now that I'm here and it does, it just feel happy being here. Don't know what it is, just a nice vibe in this city. So we're going to take a walk to the pier front. It is nice. It's actually, for like an autumn day, there's a chill in the air, but it's nice. It's not freezing like what it would be if you came here in winter, but it's not, of course, as hot as what summer would be here. And it's just nice just to walk around. I've got my nice jumper on, and I don't know, it just feels nice and cozy in this city. If I had to compare it to somewhere else I've been, I would say it's like Gdansk with the lovely harbour area mixed in with Reykjavik. It's Scandinavian, so it is Scandinavia, of course, as Norway and Sweden. So mix that Reykjavik vibe to Gdansk, you get Copenhagen. That's what I'm going to say.
Where's a fella find the nerve to love such a woman? What she wants. It's not hard to remember what it was I found so fond about her. She keeps me hanging on to her every little word. What in the world will we find when I
we have now finally visited all three of the royal estates here in Copenhagen: Rosenborg Castle, Amelienborg Palace, and now Christiansborg Palace, and they're all very extraordinary indeed. If you do have the Copenhagen Pass, you can go and visit them all. I'm not even sponsored by the pass or anything, I just really think this pass is pretty worthwhile. All the transport, all of the attractions in Copenhagen, that you can't go wrong. But if you do not have the time to go into all of them, Christiansborg Palace I think was my favourite. It was just a bit grand inside, and it also includes some ruins that you can go into as well, which are pretty neat. So if you kind of want to see one Christiansborg Palace, if you can see all three, then go for it. It is pretty stunning. I also forgot to mention though, definitely go and see each palace. Even if you don't go in them, they are so grand on the outside. And also if you go to Amelienborg Palace, you can see the changing of the royal guards, which is pretty cool to see. Doesn't last that long, but you know, it's a tradition here in the city, so definitely worth your time. So it's now our next day here in Denmark, and today we took a day trip. We've got the train from Copenhagen right up to the top of the island of Zealand, and we're here at Kronborg Castle, which if you're a drama lover, you probably recognise this place for being the home of Hamlet. Let's take you around. Welcome to the 16th century.
I'm not giving up, I'm not caving in, won't go down without a fight. I will stand my ground when the lights
on my own.
That's how this room's meant to be used. So this castle would be pretty good for defence here in Denmark. Because Denmark is particularly flat, I don't think there's a single mountain here in the country. The next defence mechanism is of course using the water, and that's what Kronborg Castle uses especially well. It's right on the coast of the island of Zealand. And like, the only way to get to it is either by water from Sweden or by foot, which then the military their advantage of you because they've got the upper ground. So it is completely fortified, and it has only been besieged by Sweden once during the war with them, and I think 1658 to 1660 they only lasted a little bit of time. Yeah, this place heavily fortified, and you can see it in the whole construction, and from the air, God, looks breathtaking. So, after leaving Kronborg Castle, we went into the town of Helsingør, which is really nice. Like my uncle said, it reminds us quite a lot of St Andrews from back home. It was just a nice coastal town, a lot of nice quirky alleyways with some murals. It was a really neat place to have a wander around. But we're about to go get the train away from Kronborg. We just went and had lunch as well. For lunch, I decided I want to try a Danish national dish today. So I went in and I had smørrebrød, which is an open sandwich. I had it with roast beef, crispy onion, pickles. It was delightful. It is really nice, really filling for lunch. But we're about to get the train, we're about to head away and see some more of the island of Zealand. Let's go. So I forgot to point out that my smørrebrød tasted a bit like Monster Lunch pickle onion, if you get what I mean. Like the crunch from the rye bread, the taste of the crispy onion mixed with the pickles. Yeah, it had a bit of roast beef flavour to it as well, but I really, like, I took my first bite and I was like, Monster Munch pickled onion. How nice. So we have continued our day trip to our next destination, out here to Hillerød, where we're going to visit Frederiksborg Castle. 2 castles in one day, no, that will be my favourite day. Let's go. So welcome on here to Frederiksborg Castle, everyone. Just when I thought Kronborg Castle might be one of the most marvellous castles I've seen here in Denmark, come here and my jaw literally drops. Let's go in and have a look. This is also part of the Copenhagen card, so that's why I'm here. But I think I probably would have came anyways because this is just a stunning piece of architecture. And wait until I show you the gardens.
My hands shake as I call to open up the gateway to war behind the front door. Adorned and welcoming, it covers for the family within. It's cracked and faded.
Frederiksborg Castle down here by the water is such a sight to behold. Like, it's the perfect way to end such an amazing day trip. This is quite an extensive day trip. If you want to do the 2 castles, you do expect to be out the entire day, but when you see this at the end, it makes it all worthwhile, especially when we're about to go walk into the gardens and see how spectacular they are. Everything here in Denmark seems to be quite astonishing. The gardens here have such Versailles vibes. It's like I've went back in time to when I was interrailing and I visited the Palace of Versailles for the first time. God, I think that has sparked my love for gardens. Or maybe you can even take it even further back to Rosenborg Castle. I'm a big castle and palace lover, but 10 times more if they have a good impressive garden for me to go and explore as well. So good morning guys, this is now our final full day here in Copenhagen, and it's a bit of a rainy one, but it's also a bit gloomy for us too, because we've just figured out that there's actually cheap ways to spend your time here in Copenhagen. So Denmark is a rather expensive place, and we've realised that because everything has been costly. It's why the City Pass guy, by the way, has been amazing for us so far because it's really helping us save a lot of money. But another thing that would probably help you guys save a lot of money, it's too late for us now, but we've been eating our breakfast at 7-Eleven just because, you know, it's a notable name. We've heard of 7-Elevens, we don't get them in the UK, so we're like, okay, we'll go in there, buy our pastries or whatever, keep us going for breakfast. Well, we tried a different place today. We tried Netto, which I think is one of their supermarkets here in Denmark, and so much cheaper. I really wish we figured that out from the get-go. Probably would have saved a lot of money. I bought mine and my sister's breakfast today. It was 2 sausage rolls for my sister, 2 cinnamon rolls for me, and we also got a donut each. You know, nothing like being in Europe than eating the most sugary of breakfast, and it was like £5. I really wish we knew that because some of the things in the city are £5 alone, like £6 for a Coke, like unreal. So I'm actually quite happy that the weather is this dreek because we went back to the Nyhavn Harbour, or whatever you call it, and I got some photos of me on the pier looking out at the colourful buildings. It still makes me think of Lego because Lego is from Denmark, so maybe it's what inspired Lego to make it as colourful and vibrant as what it is. So I got my photos there, and now we're about to head up this tower behind me, the round tower, and hopefully it's not going to be too windy up there and we can get some good views over the entire city.
Dark blue on you today. What can I say to you when you're feeling tired? Dark blue fade into you. What can I do for you when you're feeling tired?
Hey guys, it's been so long since I actually made this Copenhagen vlog. I now just realised that I forgot to film an outro. For good reason, I'm actually going to get into it. So once we left the round tower, we actually spent our final full day at Copenhagen Zoo. It's actually a pretty sweet zoo with lots of lovely wildlife. We were watching this like sea lion versus a penguin because the penguin somehow managed to make it into the sea lion enclosure. So that was a battle of wits. I did not realise. That's one cool thing about zoos, you know, some wildlife are going to meet other wildlife that they probably would never meet in their natural habitat, so I got to see that little encounter. And then me and my uncle decided to have a little party at the hostel, and I got quite drunk. We were watching some like breakdancing competition, and then once the competition disappeared, it just became this massive dance floor, and the hostel was pretty cheap for drinks compared to everywhere else in the city, so I decided to get on it, and I can't even remember that night, to be honest. So I woke up with quite a hangover. We then went to the Little Mermaid statue in the morning. Quite underwhelming. I just wanted to bring that up to you guys. This statue is one of the most notable things to do in the city, but it is also one of the busiest. Don't really understand why it is, because there's a lot more amazing areas in the city compared to this one. It is worthwhile maybe going and seeing, but you do see it on the boat tour, so I actually highly suggest maybe just seeing it from the boat rather than from the land. It's tiny little thing, tiny little mermaid. And then after that I decided to travel with a hangover, which guys I really don't recommend, but I then made it home to chilly Scotland, which is where you're going to see me on the next vlog. I really hope you did enjoy this one. Copenhagen was a delight to wander around. I don't really think I have to give you overall impressions. I think you can probably tell throughout this vlog what I thought of Copenhagen. It's a very relaxed city, very vibrant, very colourful, and just a lovely place to stroll. It is quite a small place, so it doesn't take much just to have a little wander, and that's the cities I actually think are the best, the ones that I could just wander to my heart's content and just have a really good time doing so. And Copenhagen, without a shadow of a doubt, was one of those places. But guys, thank you all for watching. Please like this video if you did enjoy, and subscribe to stay tuned to what I've got in store for you next time. Alright, peace out guys, and I'll see you all later. Have a great day. Bye!
Come fly away with me. Imagine all the things that we could see. Yeah, don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly